Okay, heading out to take a post-storm assessment. High tide last passed, I guess, around 4 o'clock this morning. It's currently about 8:30, I guess, or 9. Mid-tide. The water did recede back to the banks of the river. This is looking out front of our house. You can see everything is covered in pine chats. Not sure the trash is coming today, but just in case, we got it out. Here's the neighbor's house. Now, he did take a hit from a tree at about, I guess, 6 o'clock last night. We got an offer from a ambulance chasing tree cutter to remove this for $2,800, which he declined, and got somebody coming out this morning to take care of it. It appears the roof is fine, no damage. Now, walking out to our yard. You may recall from the high tide video, the water yesterday was up to this leaf line here. That's where the water was yesterday, and then it also came up this little swale between the houses up to that leaf line up there.
Bird nest.
Louette just discovered a bird nest that succumbed to the storm. One interesting thing, there were fish jumping right around here by those trees last night. So I guess they got a little lost with the water running over the banks. You can see we now have our dock back.
Find dead fish out here.
And there may be dead fish out here.
Yeah,
Our blue heron was out here earlier this morning. He's departed, but I guess that's a good sign. He survived the storm. So here's looking out towards our deck. Again, last night this was totally covered in water. You see a little bit of damage up there where a branch fell on our deck railing. But that was really the extent of our damage, other than perhaps undetected water damage in our crawl space, which we've yet to really assess. However, all of our utilities seem to be working. Here, heating system's working. It's about 42, 43 degrees this morning. We do have power. In total, we lost power for about an hour yesterday, early on in the storm, and that was it. I think this leaf line here was from the high tide we had at about 4 this morning, as opposed to the high tide we had, which was up there by the truck. So normally the river stays the other side of this bulkhead here. Normally we can always see our dock and always see our boat, which is not here at the moment. So this is sort of mid-tide right now, in theory, and it is an extra high mid-tide due to the continued residual surge of Sandy. Hey, baby. So there's our 2 white chairs from Louette's mother. They were floating around the yard last night, as was our lighthouse. Our lighthouse used to be out here by that stump, and it took a little swim and ended up there last night. Also, our fire pit is now empty. All the branches and things that we'd thrown in it also floated around the yard and is who knows where at this point. Mostly up by the hot tub. There's our hot tub. It was surrounded by about a foot of water last night. And there's our bench. It also floated around. But the hot tub appears to be okay. We restarted it this morning. And it's on its way up to 101 degrees for an evening soak, if things go well. So this area here covered with river debris. Again, the high tide was really up against the base of the house. We had several inches lapping at the exterior in this area. You can see we've got a crawl space door here. I've yet to open it, but there were several inches of water up against that at the highest tide last night. This window was leaking constantly at the base. Not sure why, but another to-do project here after the storm. And we'll continue our walk in. I don't know what all this is. Bottles and river debris. Some of this from our fire pit. Some of it from, I guess, the locals dumping their stuff. And this is all junk from the river. Eek. Ugh.
Lots of scum.
And here's the Valea's house on the other side. Oh wow, I hadn't seen this.
Yeah.
So this is, again, high tide was way up here on this side of the house. You can see our two of our heat pumps. They were also covered in about 3 inches of water at the base. I turned them off. They appear to be functioning normally this morning. So that's pointing out the high water line.
How do we get that out?
Don't know how we get that out. Shop vac maybe once it dries. So, ugh, again, lots of crap from the river came up this high. And it looks like, not sure what that little bear is there. The high water line came right up to this line here. So I'll turn around and see the river's a good couple hundred feet in that direction normally, and it did come up this far. Now turning towards, again, the front of the house, completing our loop. There's Leanne and Clayton. So that concludes our walk around the perimeter, and overall I'd say we were pretty lucky. A branch took out a deck, lots of debris to clean up, but other than that we're fine and healthy, and I think our house will be just fine.